Hey, Pinky here from Hikimori and Friends. Well, to recap on what's been going on in my life, I've been pretty busy. I guess in a sense, a bit lonely too. Not much going on in the aspect of seeing people. It's been filled with slow but steady work on renovating my new house. I think the property in itself is from 1910, and whatever new things has been done to this house has been back in 1986. So gotta say, I don't find them too appealing or aesthetically pleasing to me. So right now we're just trying to fix out the outside layer or foundation. There we go. That's the word I was searching for. And yeah, I mean, we're getting there, and obviously we're kind of have to kind of put things to a halt since the cold is coming here in Finland, and it wouldn't be too smart to start breaking up the floor and just making the house a whole lot colder than it needs to be, especially with how pricey energy is getting. Anything else new? Yeah, quite recently, last month. A bit of a health scare, or more so of a health scare for my spouse. I woke up with this excruciating headache paired with this insane pressure. It literally felt like my head was gonna explode, like the brain was just gonna. Uh, I paid no attention to it. I'm thinking, yeah, whatever. This is my life. P.S. I have MS, so my life is pretty much filled with aches and pains and what have you. So I just put my big girl pants and tried to carry on with my day. But I started noticing that I would get this horrible feeling every time I'd lower myself, whether it be bending over, even if I kept my torso erect and just bent at the knees, just lowering myself spent me sent me into this insane feeling of pain and pressure. And the pain was so intense, I literally felt like I wanted to end it, to end it. If you get what I'm saying. I try not to anger the YouTube gods. And, I kind of told my significant other what was going on, but not to the full extent, because I just thought, whatever, I can handle this. This went on for nearly a week, maybe like 5 days or so. And, I guess in the last days I started kind of saying, or, informing him more what was going on, and then they started worrying like hell. And to be fair, I've never felt anything like this. Yes, my life is filled with pain and inconveniences, but this was new. And once I alerted him of the most minor thing that was going on, of any new symptoms, he set up an appointment with the doctors here in the southern city where we live. Yeah, they didn't seem to take me seriously. And, they just waved it off to maybe a tension headache or something like that. They gave me a painkiller and some muscle relaxants, which I might add did jack and crap. And because it was already kind of waning and coming back, and they just, and they, the doctor found out, oh, you have MS. Yeah, it's MS. Here's a painkiller, go home. I just felt like they were just trying to get rid of me, not really taking me seriously. And to be fair, I'm used to this kind of treatment from doctors or just medical care in the US and in Finland. went home, but I had a appointment for a CT scan the very next day. Luckily, luckily, I was still experiencing those symptoms. Uh, Went in to check in. The person that received me seemed not to be having the best day. She just seemed like she had something up her butt and like I was bothering her, but I was received, so we're going somewhere. I was taken to a room, I think atten- intensive, intensive care unit or acute care unit, something like that. And I was waiting for hours and hours. Uh, Eventually, someone came in, uh, hooked me up to some fluid, and connected me to some kind of heart monitor or something. Now, my blood pressure runs pretty low, so nothing out of the normal there. But at some points, it would go pretty low, and the machine would go absolutely bonkers. And I was in this tiny room with nothing to it except that, and I could hear other rooms with the same monitors going bananas. And it really seemed like nobody cared, or then there wasn't enough people. I was there for damn hours waiting and waiting, and I just started thinking, okay, maybe if I ring the bell and see what's going on. Rang the bell. Ah, a nurse came in. She seemed absolutely fed up and like I was bothering her, and like, how dare I ring the bell. I told her my situation and how I'd been waiting for X amount of hours. She told me, blah, 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 someone will be with you soon, and you know, it's like, okay, more waiting, and at least it kind of got things moving. A male nurse or whatever came in and led me to where the CT scan was going to be taken. He seemed tired, polite but tired, and you know, just told me what was gonna go on and how the scan goes, and you know, scan, and then pulled me out, put the coloring fluid to be able to check what's going on, and took like, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes or so. It was really fast, and unplugged me, blah blah, sent me back to my room. And as I got back to my room, I noticed that the IV wasn't exactly there properly. I'm spilling blood and whatever salt water or fluid I'm having. And I was a bit apprehensive, kind of scared to ring the bell yet again because of how they were, treating me or acting. And I waited 20 minutes. I thought, okay, maybe this is something that should be fixed. Fortunately, I was checked by a really lovely lady. Nice nurse. She fixed the IV so it wasn't leaking all over the place, and cleaned up the bloody mess I left. And I told her my situation. She's like, "I'm so sorry. I'm sure someone will be with you." And I had not eaten anything since breakfast, or pretty much since I left to, have the whole thing done. And she's like, "Well, maybe the doctors should check the scans to decide whether or not you can have food or not." I'm like, all right, all right. And more hours of waiting, and eventually, I think it was supposed to be the doctor, but he wasn't wearing a white coat. He had a stethoscope around his neck. Asked questions. He seemed like I was bothering him, and like, surely what I'm there for isn't that important. Like, hurry up, let's deal with this so I can get rid of you, kind of attitude. And yeah, he made some questions, I guess, to seem more social, but with the whole vibe he was putting out, I really didn't feel cared for or welcomed. And then he said he was gonna check my heart to lift my shirt. Okay. And then he proceeds to whip out one of my breasts, and it took me aback, but he seemed professional. Other than that, um, then he said he still has to check the scans, kind of daggers with his eyes, like F you for making me do my work. And then he left. I waited some more. And then eventually, he came back, gave me the whole shindig, and that I should have an MRI at the end of the year. Eventually, the nice nurse, fortunately, came to unhook me and send me on my way. And look, I know Finland is in a shortage of doctors, or so be it health workers in general, and that some of the staff here is overworked. But I also feel that if this is a career you're searching for, maybe you should also be prepared on all the negatives that come with it. Learn to separate your anxieties and issues with that of the patient who is just there asking for your help. Well, I can say it was one of the worst experiences with healthcare I have had. I'm not saying that Finnish healthcare is horrible. There are so many goods in it. I love this country with all my heart, and they've got so many things figured out. But like in many places and many situations, there are certain things that should probably be reconsidered and probably adjusted. In many ways, I feel like just ah just do better. That's all I can say. Do better.